Welcome back, folks. This is Radham Hill on the Radham Hill channel, the channel that aims to help men be the best that they can be. So, I want to talk to you today in this video about expectations that we have from ourselves, from other people, from life itself, from society, and so on. Yeah, and basically, we live our lives where we have complicated lives, and a lot of us are in relationships, for example, and within that relationship, there are certain expectations we have, depending on who the working partner is. For example, you may be both be working, you may have kids, you may have, a lot of different situations. You may have a business or whatever, but you expect like your partner at some point to do so whoever is the working partner, if you're both working and you have kids, you expect one of the partners expects the other partner to say, pick up the kids regularly from school and take care of their meals or whatever that is. So it could be the man or the woman, who is responsible for that kind of thing, or it could be a shared responsibility. But either way, you have expectations from each other, right? That, there's certain things that are essential to your day-to-day life where you have an expectation, right? That's fine. That's great. And I think, in most relationships, most people work on those expectations and are able to actually fulfill the expectations of their partner in many different ways. Yeah, but I'm talking about the wider scope of expectations itself, what it is to be living with expectations and what it means to not live with expectations. I mean, let's say that we have, someone who expects something from their friends, for example, or even from their partner in a relationship, but something that is like quite an abstract thing, like you expect them to be a certain way or do a certain thing, simply because of the loyalty that you expect for them to have for you as a result of that relationship, that friendship, that marital relationship, or that boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, whatever it is, right? Or a business relationship that you have with somebody, and you expect them to do something that is not necessarily something that is an agreed kind of like something that you both agreed that you're going to be doing. Yeah, and even when it is agreed, many times expectations are not met. So one of the things that I found in my life, and this is what I really want to share out with people on this video on the channel, is that basically, when you live your life with expectations because you have a feeling that somebody should have a loyalty towards you, and then therefore you can expect something from them, or you're entitled in one way or another, what that leads to most of the time is actually disappointment. It actually means that like you'll be going from one disappointment to the next disappointment in your life, simply because, not everybody's able to meet your expectations. And sometimes they may even want to, but they have their own constraints. And sometimes you don't see the constraints that they have, yet you expect something from them. And yet, when they cannot give to you what you expect from them, without you having even asked them, or having even have some kind of an agreement that this is what we expect here, from each other, what you can end up with is basically disappointment, because at the end of the day, you don't see their constraints, the reasons why they cannot meet your expectations, yet you still have the expectation. And so when it's not met, you're very disappointed. And so the point that I want to make in this video is that it's not like a really great way to live your life to actually have any expectations. Now, one of the things that I've tried to do in my life is actually live my life with zero expectations from anybody, including family, friends, anybody. I expect nothing. The only thing I expect is what I expect from myself. And you cannot disappoint, or you can disappoint yourself. Of course you can disappoint yourself, right? But if you really are true to yourself and you're doing your best to do the right things for yourself, chances are you will have less of a chance of being disappointed than if you live with expectations of something that's going to come in from external. It's a much, much more powerful thing to expect from yourself, and to actually just say, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to basically be the best or give the best of myself to this world, you know, but expect nothing back from the world, you know. And anytime that something does happen, you know, like if you live your life where you say, okay, you know, I'm going to give everything out to the world and be the best that I can be, and like, you know, just give the best of myself and to the world itself. And live with the faith that good things will come back to you, but not expect those things. It's an amazing thing, because whenever good things come, it's always a bonus and it's a surprise. And so the moment you start living without any expectations, everything becomes a bonus. Everything becomes like a happy event, because anything good that happens suddenly becomes like the best thing that ever happened to you, right? And it's just a change in perspective, you know. And I think it's a very difficult thing to do, because we live in an integrated society, and we live in integrated relationships, and we live in integrated, communities where we have, you know, close relationships with friends, family, and so on. So it's a very difficult thing to do, to kind of like detach yourself from that and say, hey, I'm going to actually not expect anything back from all this that is around me. All I'm going to do is push out and give out, but expect nothing back. But the moment you master that little trick, right, I tell you, it's an amazing thing, because or even if you master it to a certain percentage, you get 70% there, you know. You don't have to be 100% zero expectations, but even if you start to get close to kind of living that life, it's an amazing thing, because everything that happens to you thereafter is like a good thing. It's like an amazing thing, because it's like the best thing that ever happened, because you didn't expect it. And so everything's a bonus, right? You know, and even the bad things, you can turn them into positives. You know, you can say, okay, that bad shit happened to me, right? But it came in and I was able to deal with it, and I didn't expect it. But then equally, you know, I didn't expect that good thing to happen, but then there it is. It happened, and like this amazing event has happened, and like, wow, how cool is that, right? And anything that happens that's maybe not so great, you know, how am I going to turn that into a positive? So it's just this whole video is just about like just this idea I had in my mind is like, you know, what is it truly to kind of like live that life where you like don't look for anything external to come in, and yet so much abundance is there that does come into our lives, you know. And like we just have to live with the faith that abundance will come from places that we don't even think it's going to come from, places we don't expect it to come from. But if you start to put your focus on one place, it's a little bit like expecting something from just one person, rather than just saying, you know, the universe or society will pay me back for the good things that I do, as long as I'm just doing the good things, right? I'm doing the right things, you know. It just basically means that you widen your scope of the amount of good things that do happen to you. Why? Because like, I'll give you an example. You know, we're looking for, you know, life on other planets, right? You know, I know it's a bit bizarre. Okay, you know, stay with me on this example. But we look for life on the other planets, and like, you know, a lot of like telescopes and things that we have today basically focus on a certain area of space, and yet space is so wide and expansive and huge that like even with the best telescopes, we can still only focus on a tiny fraction of what's out there. And so, but that's what we have, right? So in a way, we're kind of like pinpointing our focus in a very, very specific place, whereas the life is over there, right? But we're looking over here, and very slowly we're going to go over there. But meanwhile, the life moved to over there, right? I mean, so it's like, that's a bit of a difficult situation, right? You're never going to find that life, you know, that keeps moving around the universe, right? Similarly, you know, if we had like a telescope that could actually look across the entire universe all at once, I'm sure we would find life out there, right? We would find that life. Now, it's a similar thing. If you focus your expectations only on one person or one or two people from who you think, I've got loyalty from that person, I've got loyalty from that person, and therefore I expect that person to do that thing for me, or I expect that situation in life to be exactly like that because I'm focusing on that one thing. Do you know what you're going to get? You're going to get disappointed. Why? Because the whole of the expanse of the life that you have and the interactions you have with people, yeah, is actually feeding back to you. And so therefore, if you focus your expectation only on one place, you kind of like miss the good thing that's coming from that other place where you didn't expect it, because it's the whole of like the whole thing that's feeding back to you, right? So that, you know, isn't that a powerful thought, to realize that the moment you decide, look, you know, I'm just gonna let what comes to me come to me, right? And I'm going to be pushing out to the entire wide expanse, and the whole wide expanse will come back to me, you know, tenfold sometimes, you know, as long as you're doing, you know, good things. On a previous video, I think I did mention this idea that, you know, you do one good thing, 10 good things will happen back to you. You do one bad thing and 10 bad things will happen to you. It's like this law of karma, you know, and I've seen it happen in my life time and time again. So I just don't do that shit, you know, like I try and keep away from doing anything that might be unethical, right? For that exact reason, because it's like the whole universe is focusing in on you. Meanwhile, you're focusing in on, you know, out on the whole universe. So what are the chances that, you know, you do something bad, there's going to be come back to you much worse? Of course it is, right? Because it's like all of that. Anyway, talking so much. See if you can live your life without expectations, and just try it for a few weeks or a few months, and see how much happier you would be, you know. And the reason I made this video is because, like, the moment I started to think about that in my life and start to apply that in my life, it just like so abundantly amazing. The experience that I had is suddenly just like everything feels so great. Everything that comes to me is like the best thing that ever happened, and it's always exciting. You know, life itself has become so exciting for those reasons, you know. And so that's why I wanted to share it with all of you guys. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video, really special video, and please subscribe down below, please leave comments, please do like or dislike, you know, just as long as I have some feedback as to whether I'm doing the right thing for the public. That's my aim, that's what I want to do. And please do, in the comments, leave suggestions for videos that you want me to make. I will research, I will find out, I will study, and I will make a video just for you, right? Just for you. Feel free to actually go ahead and leave those comments. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a great day, a great week, and I will post again very soon on the Radom Hill channel. Ciao for now.